What's going on, hustlers? Back at you guys with another video. Thank you guys so much for all the growth and support on the channel. So please DM me for that free acronym PDF. You must be following me for a response. And then if you have any questions about government contracting, you can also DM me. My Instagram handle is going to be on the bottom of the screen. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video. I'm just going to be firing them off. I will be traveling for a bit. So I'm just kind of pre-recording a whole bunch of videos, getting this content out to you guys to make sure that we're still hitting that goal of 3 uploads per week. And then update on the packaging video. So the purchase order has been placed. The stuff should be in the warehouse tomorrow. And then I passed the first 2 parts of my check ride, which I really say 2 parts because I passed the FAA written exam and then I passed the oral exam. So I'm going to take the flight portion of the exam tomorrow. And honestly, I'm kind of nervous saying that because it's like, what if I fail? But I'm not going to fail. That's just me being like transparent. I am a human being. I don't even know why I'm nervous because I've flown that flight so many times and I'm going to pass it. I'm going to be instrument rated. Speaking it before I manifested it. Let's rip it tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Follow me on Instagram if you want to see how the flight went. But yeah, I will be instrument rated. It's happening. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the video. So this is going to be a quick one. 5 products to avoid selling to the government. Now, I do want to preface this by saying, yes, you can sell these things. The profit margin will be higher on these things because nobody wants to touch them with a 10-foot pole. Some of these things, myself included, but these are just things that have their own unique sets of challenges. They might have their own unique set of requirements. And if you are going to sell them, you should know what those requirements entail prior to you winning that contract, because then if you win it and it's your first contract and then you got to cancel, then it's not a good look. So without further ado, let's get into the 5 products that I would avoid selling to the government. So number 1, petroleum adhesives and batteries. So the first reason for this being a lot of these things have shelf lives. And another thing I'll throw in here that's not on here is like rubber washers and stuff. All that stuff has a shelf life. It can expire, especially with rubber washers. I went to Crystal McAuliffe Middle School, and that's named after one of the teachers who was on the Challenger rocket ship that NASA was. It was a project that NASA was doing, and they were sending people to space, or not people, they were sending teachers to space. And then that rocket ship exploded, and everybody on board died because the temperature was freezing, the washers froze, like the rubber washers froze, and then when it melted, the integrity of the washers was compromised, and then they broke, and then there was obviously a big explosion and people died. So the biggest thing, petroleum adhesives and batteries, they have shelf lives. Now, number 2, another reason for these is they are DGs, dangerous goods. So to sell DG goods, you have to get hazmat certified, and it's not hard to do. You can go get hazmat certified. You just have to do it on the weekend. I think it's like $500. Don't quote me on that though. Inflation's causing a change in everything. Thanks, Biden. But yeah, you do have to get DG certified to deal with a lot of this stuff. So petroleum, obvious. Some adhesives, you could also be required to be DG certified. And then even some batteries could also be considered hazmat. So you might need a certification to be able to sell those. So I would avoid selling that. Hence why if you look on Dibs, there's a whole bunch of stuff. There's a whole bunch of stuff on Dibs, like solicitations that are open for that stuff. So if you are DG goods or hazmat certified, then by all means get after it. But if you're not, just be aware you may have to be able to successfully ship, store, and deliver these items. Number 2, medical supplies. So there's nothing like inherently wrong with selling medical supplies, but the biggest thing is just the fact that it's a super saturated marketplace. The margins are razor thin. A lot of the people that are in that industry, they've been in it for quite some time. And when I say people, I mean like companies. They've been in that industry for quite some time, and they really don't have any intention of like leaving that marketplace. So a lot of like the approved sources or the incumbents are in it, and they're bidding on those contracts. So the competition is really high, and then you're also dealing with a lot of other startups that want to sell medical supplies. I talked to hundreds of companies per year, right? And I would say like 60% of the companies that I talk to, they're like, oh, I want to sell medical supplies. And I'm like, all right. I mean, do whatever floats your boat, man. It's not my business. But you're just dealing with startups who are one-man shows or two-man shows. They don't need to make that much money to, they really don't need to make that much money to, for it to be worth their time. So the margins are razor thin on medical supplies, and it's just a super competitive industry. Number 3, ingestible products. So anything that you're going to eat, anything that you're going to put in your body, anything that you're going to put on your face, anything like that. There could be ingredients in there that you don't know about that aren't regulated by the FDA. Again, could also have a shelf life or can need to be stored at a certain temperature. And then if you sell something to somebody and then they use that stuff and then they have an allergic reaction, but it was like considered the approved source, but then it really wasn't, then you can end up like getting burned for it. There always has to be like a scapegoat. So I would be aware of ingestible products. And then number 4 is kits. So anytime that you're selling something, and let's say like the unit of issue, or like it looks like there's only like 1 or 2 units on DLA, right? That they're asking for, but then you look at the solicitation and this says unit of issue is kit. And then you look at what's actually required like of the kit, and then you'll see like, yo, they're actually asking for a kit that contains like 8 different items. And then one item is 40 units, another item is 12 units, another item is 15 units. So kits, again, you can sell them. Just keep in mind that you might end up actually having to purchase a lot more than what it is that you think you're going to be purchasing. And then sometimes people look at people send me stuff that they're getting ready to bid on. And then I look at it and I'm like, oh, this is a good price. But then when I look in the solicitation, it's like, oh, that's only the price for half the stuff in the kit. And you need to get the other half. And you're responsible for buying all those items and then appropriately piecing them together. Now, kits is a great, you can build an entire business out of just putting together kits. Just be aware that there's like a lot of packaging wise, there's just a lot of stuff that goes into it. And then number 5 is going to be like weapons. So like anything that has to do with like ammunition, anything that has to do with like anything that has to do with like grenades, missiles, water mine components, landmines. You're just going to need special certs to sell that stuff. You're going to be competing against people from God knows where. If you've never seen War Dogs, go watch that movie. That just gives you a little bit of insight into everything that can go wrong with selling ammunition. The margins tend to be really good, but you do need to have certain certs to be able to deal with that stuff, and you do have to be able to transport it a certain way. So those are the 5 products that I would avoid selling. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And then shoot me a DM if you have any questions. Why is my Loom screen stuck here? Shoot me a DM if you guys have any questions. And then, yeah, let me know if you guys want that free acronym PDF. Again, you can find that by DMing me on Instagram, and then click the link down below if you guys are looking to work with Namyat.